you were quite a senior member of the Labour Club until the end of the autumn term this year, and then you left to join SWSS. What brought you to that decision?
Well, mainly the occupation and the involvement Labour Club had had in it. And that Labour Club actually is, as a Labour Club, because it doesn't have any organisation, because it's such a broad church, there's no sort of theory running through it, that they couldn't act, and that individuals were involved in the occupation. Myself, you, Andrew, other people, members of Women's Group and Labour Club, they were all involved in the occupation, but me as individuals. And I think that's what decided me on joining SWSS, and that, not that I wanted to sort of lose any individuality, but I thought that sort of individuals acting merely as individuals never achieve anything. You've got to be in some organisation that actually carries out some sort of unity in action, and I believe SWSS does that.
So you think that Labour Club rarely fails to provide the leadership and the policies that an organised left needs on campus?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a great pity, because I'd like to see Labour Club actually bigger and more campaigning, which would be an healthy sign for the left. However, at the moment we haven't got that, and it's SWSS that gives a political lead, the SWP on campus that gives a political lead, and various other militants on campus.
How do you think Labour Club has changed since you came to the university?
In the first term I actually didn't do anything, and I don't know whether it's because I got involved that I actually did something, but my first term I didn't go along. I sort of, my working class origin said, "Oh, these bourgeois shitbags, I'm not having what to do with them." Second term I got involved, I studied in the elections. I studied in the elections with a strong feminist, Kath Pringles, member of Women's Group, leader member of Women's Group. We did have a lot in common, we still have. But the failure of the election, and the fact that I put so much time and effort into the election, and really I didn't get anything out of it, and even if I had, thinking about it on reflection, I could never have done anything on that executive. I would never actually change the political thoughts on campus by merely being a member of the executive. I can do more good talking in union meetings, arguing the SWSS case for things like no platform, fighting the administration, etc. I can do more good there than being an executive. An executive sort of bureaucratic position that actually doesn't do much unless we're a good campaigning union.
Do you think that last academic year Labour Club was quite weak?
You mean the year I was involved in it?
Yes.
No, I think actually it was stronger then than it is now, for basic reasons that over the last year SWSS has actually recruited members from Labour Club, myself in particular, who sort of did a lot of running around. But yeah, I think that it's a bit weaker now than it was then. But it might be due to the fact that I'm not particularly involved in the social scene of Labour Club anymore, and that's where sort of a lot of strength seemed to be. Sort of in sort of carb ups, etc. before actually going into the meeting.
I'd just like to ask you, do you think that the Labour Club's policy of positive discrimination is a credit to the Labour Club and achieves its aims, or do you think that in fact just the converse, that if a woman is elected, people just go and say, well, it's only because there was positive discrimination this woman got in?
Yeah, I do think that, but then I'd argue that the people are hiding behind the smoke screen anyway, and that they've probably got quite reactionary ideas and quite anti-Labour Club and probably right-wing. I think if you had sort of a good left woman who was sort of put forward, make no difference whether she's a woman or whether she's a man, it's politics that count, and that's what I like about SWSS, in that you're not taken because you're a woman, you're taken the politics. And if you look at women on campus, the ones that are most active on campus, the ones that speak more at union meetings, are people in SWSS, people like me, Louise, Liz Osborne now, and other members, sort of the women members, Viv in particular last year.
Can I also just quickly ask you, can you describe the downfall of Tim Arif and Ian Dalton, and what Labour Club did, and what Labour Club's position was on their downfall?
Well, the position seemed to be quite divided in the fact that people within the Labour Club last year, Ian Hughes in particular, that actually supported Arif the man over the sign or resign issue, and that they nominated him, proposed him, whatever, was Ian Hughes, and he was a member of Labour Club last year, and he'd actually been elected the year before, or the year before last, on a Labour Club slate as Press and Publicity Officer. I mean, that sort of thing is absolutely disgraceful when you think sort of that people in the Labour Club were campaigning against Arif and actually stood candidates against Arif, Tim and Ian, and some of them did better than others. Like the candidates, the candidate that stood against Ian Dalton, I think it was you, yeah, it was you, yeah, and yeah, they did. The people like that, I think it's absolutely disgrace that one Labour Club member can actually sort of be fighting for the right thing in that union accountability, etc., and at the same time another Labour Club member can actually be sort of undermining that sort of current and fight by stabbing it in the back, really, in supporting someone who has been no confidence because of the unaccountability.
Just quickly, I understand that you need treatment. Can you explain this?
Yeah. Well, it's just bloody Tories. This our great foreign affairs minister, whatever you call him, you know, the one that zooms up to Moscow and China and says...
Sir Geoffrey Han.
Yeah, that's him, yeah. Our Jeff, as he likes to call him, SWP. Great friend, you know what I mean, Jeff. He just a joke the day, you know, sort of told me afterwards that he didn't really mean it and just had to sort of assert his position as being a Tory. And we all know he's a good lefty underneath, as we're constantly being told by people like Caldwell and sort of wet busting, I think they call it. Wet busters, yeah. Anyway, I mean, me and Jeff, there's nothing in it. I wouldn't like to spread rumours.
Right, now we've got one final question. What I'm going to ask is, I'm going to ask you, do you think at the moment the left generally is stronger now than it has been, say, 2 years ago? I just want a yes or no answer.
Yes.
Right. Now what Alex is going to do, he's going to cue you in. Do you see what I mean? So he's going to give you an answer and he's going to snap his fingers or wave to you and just say yes. Because we're getting lots of people to say this and we're going to edit them together. Okay? So when nice Alex gives you a
I'm feeling silly now. Yes! Is that it now?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. We're going to tell that one about how many SWP members can you get in a minute, but...